So what is up, guys? The wood bearing's back again. This is that dirty Super Nintendo you guys seen in the last video. And what we're going to do is a couple episodes where I tear this thing apart and clean it up. So let's just jump into this and I'll show you guys kind of how I do it. I know you guys have already seen this a million times, but we'll just get into this and you guys can see, kind of how I do it. So first off, you can notice how dirty this is. It's really nasty. I'm not sure what lives in here. It could be a mouse. Who knows? There could be a gargamel in there. Who knows? But the first thing we got to do is take out these screws here. There's like 6 screws here. And they are a special bit. I don't know if it's a 3.8 game bit or the 4.5 game bit. See if you guys can see that. 4.5 or a 3.8. It's been a minute since I've done this. Sorry for focusing issues. It's upside down. I can't even see you guys. There you are. Okay, so let's see. Too small. So it looks like it's going to be the 4.5 game bit. Yeah, that's it. And I don't have my other tool. Hold on just one second, guys. Okay, so I'm back. So this is what I use. You don't really have to have like a big pneumatic screwdriver or anything like that. I just use this little piece here and the game bit itself. And we'll just take these screws out. And yeah, I could speed this along and stuff and do it faster, but I like to do stuff for real. Show you guys my troubles with doing things, so bear with me. Who knows, this might be the fastest Super Nintendo teardown ever. Okay. So we got all the screws loose. So what I like to do, and if it works, is just lay this on the console on its side, and then just set it down like that. Tap it just gently, and then we had one stubborn one. That's not very gentle. But we'll just put our screws off to the side, and all this is the same length, so you don't have to really worry about where they go back. Then we'll just lift the top off. There's nothing you got to worry about like attached to the top. It just comes off just like that. Okay, then we get a little look at the internals, and we know we have a screw down below there that's still in there, or it was. It's fell out now, so we'll just put that off to the side. And it is really nasty in this thing. Look, if you guys can see that, I hope you can. That's pretty daggum nasty. So now the second thing we need to do, because we're going to take these plastics off and thoroughly clean them, soap and water, that's all you got to do. There's a dude named Gamerade. He got me doing this stuff, so that props to that guy. He knows what he's doing. So, I think the first thing we need to do is lift the controller slot out of the front. Just like that. And then you can roll it. Well, this one's got the thing still on there. That's cool. But what you want to do, hope you guys can see that. Take this little ribbon and just pull it out here. And just be very careful with it. And then this will slide back through this little, I'm not even sure what that is. It's like a little magnet thing. But you can slide that back through there. Then you got the controller port out. So really cool to get that out. Put that to the side there. Then the second thing we need to be doing, this jack button's really got to be clean, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. And I thought I remembered how to do that, but we're just going to do it on the fly. So we're going to lift up here on this side of the console itself, then we're just going to back this out of this spring here. Just like that. And careful to remember how that spring goes in. Then we'll just grab this end of this pin. And it's really stuck, but there it comes. So there's the eject button taken out. So you got to keep in mind, guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll turn it up like that maybe. It goes into the slot here. And there's also another slot or hole here in this part. If you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little hole down here. That's where the other end of that spring goes. So now that we got that out, we can set it off to the side. And we have the Mamma Jamma right here. So this right here don't look too bad. There's something that was spilled on it, you can see right here, and it's got like freaking hair growing out of it. It's ridiculous. But what we want to do is take a small Phillips head. I have a little pack here. And we want to remove this RF shielding from the board itself. And it's one screw right here. And these are a little bit different. They're not Gambits, they're just standard Phillips. But we want to remove that one. And then there's one way down here. And I think also when we do this, we got to take this the power switch off itself. Hope you guys can see that. But this has to come off to get the RF shielding off. And these screws are all the same as far as that goes, so you don't have to worry about, you know, how they go back. So put those right off to the side, and then you just lift the power button off, set it to the side. You can also unhook it down here if you wanted to, but we're not going to do that right now. Then we got another screw right here for the RF shielding. Put that off to the side, and let's see here. If I remember right, I think that's all the screws, but we may have to take, no we don't. We don't have to take that off yet. And that just pulls up and out just like that. So there, that's out of the way. That can be cleaned. Then the next thing we want to do is take off the pin connector. And these screws are different. You guys can notice that one's long and silver, and this one's kind of short and copper looking. So I'm going to keep those separate because they go back with the pin connector. I'll pull this one all out. Place that one over there to the side. And then the pin connector actually just lifts off the board just like that. So I don't know if you guys can see down in there, but that is really nasty in there. And then the way I do it, a lot of people do it different ways, but I gently clean this with a really soft bristle toothbrush and 91% isopropyl alcohol. So that does a really good job as I try to drop it. But put the pin connector off to the side, and then we have a few more screws, I think, before the board can come out itself. Let's just look here, and I think they're here in the back. We have one here, and one here. So we'll just remove those. And all these little, like gold, copper looking screws inside the console are about the same thing. So the only ones you got to worry about are the little silver ones like this one. They're a little bit longer. So now we're going to take off the heat shielding in the back. These screws here are also the same long silver screws like the ones for the pin connector itself. I know one thing, a magnetic screwdriver would really help. I can't get that in there. So I'll try to get the screw out, and we just lift the board out just like that, and then we can just toss that screw out just like that. So there's the board, guys. We got that out, and if you want to completely remove the RF shielding, you take off a couple more screws here, but I'm not going to do that because it looks all pretty good under there. So I'll just blow it out with some compressed air and clean up, you know, residue here on the board or whatnot with a Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol. You guys know I screw up all the time, but anyways, there we go. We got the board out, and we have all the plastics here. And you can also take this apart a lot further, which I'll do, probably do that off camera, and then I'll show you guys a cleaned up SNES, and I won't bother to show you guys how to put it back together because you guys can just watch this video and you guys would know, you know, how to put it back together. But there's like canned hair and like rat hair and all kinds of stuff in here. This is just how this old stuff gets, man. It collects a lot of stuff. Kind of crazy. Imagine what's in Xboxes and stuff. I've took those apart. You would not believe what's in an Xbox or a GameCube, PS2, any of those consoles. But I will be making another video and showing you guys how it looks after it's cleaned up. If you guys care about that, I know a lot of people do this, and Gamerade's one of the best in my opinion. But I'll show you guys this console all cleaned up and put back together in another video. So I do it all the time. So from the Woodbury and Retro Game Hunter, I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, love you guys. Thanks for all the support. Peace and yeah. See you guys.